What's up, guys? This is Boondocks, and today I'm going to be showing the Zephyr Jetstream build. If you didn't know, the Jetstream build takes advantage of a glitch in the game using the Jetstream Augment mod, and DE's actually come out and said, while it wasn't intentional, they have no plans on removing it because a lot of people enjoy using it so much. And basically, it focuses on using the Toncore, which, if you didn't know, is an extremely powerful weapon that can score crits for days, but unfortunately it can be a little unwieldy to use due to its arc, as well as bouncing all over the place and only exploding when it comes in contact with an enemy. However, by using the Jetstream mod and Turbulence, you can make it so the Toncore will explode on contact with anything it touches. In order for that to happen, there are two power breakpoints. By that I mean two power strengths. So one is 175% strength, and that's if you're going to be using the terminal velocity mod. If you plan on not using terminal velocity mod, in order to increase your damage a little bit more, then you're going to have to get to 234% strength, which is still definitely doable. You're just going to have to make concessions elsewhere. And because terminal velocity is a level 3 ability, that means its cost is 75 energy flat out, and because of that you are going to want to still have at least some efficiency, so that way you can cast it more often, as well as a large enough energy pool, because Zephyr actually only has 150 starting energy, and because of that it could be a little bit tricky, which is why I'm currently using my primed flow along with streamline to get to 130% efficiency. That seems to me more than enough. There, in all honesty, is a bunch of different ways you can build this, but I'm using a level 9 Transient Fortitude along with an Intensify in order to get to 180 total power strength. Of course, if this was a level 8, it would only give me 45, plus the 30 for that grand total of 75, which would be perfect, and then I wouldn't have as much negative duration. I'm going to make up for the duration, however, using my Narrow-Minded and Prime Continuity. As Narrow-Minded is only going to affect the range on a select few of my abilities, such as the movement ability for 1, which in all honesty you don't really need anymore considering Parkour 2.0 is available. And in addition to that, the actual second benefit from using Turbulence, which it protects you from bullets, isn't going to be as large a range on it, so you're not going to be able to protect your friends as easily, but overall it's still more than enough to keep you alive, as we will soon see. I'm thinking to use Vitality along with Rejuvenation because, well, she came with a D polarity and I haven't felt the need to swap it out yet. And Rejuvenation synergizes really well with Vitality, considering both her shields and base health are at 450 each. So I'm then going to bump it up and have a considerable amount of health. Finally, I am going to use the Jetstream mod, and this is the main thing. It's going to increase your personal movement speed by 40, which is always nice, and in addition to that, increase the speed of projectiles by 100%. That plus the turbulence is what causes the Toncore to explode instantaneously. Even though, like I said, it's a glitch, the developers have said that they will leave it in because of how humorous people find it to be. As far as the Toncore, I've been kind of messing around with this to test out different setups with it. There's a few things that you can do. What I've personally found is that this works the best using a Serration, which I need to bump that up to my max Serration. Using Serration with Split Chamber to get as many high strength double shots going out. And then using Point Strike to get the crit because the Toncore has ridiculous crit on it. Couple that with Vital Senses for crit damage, and Argon Scope to start getting red crits all day. Then I'm going to get some corrosive damage using Infected Clip and Stormbringer, and then of course the Terminal Velocity to speed it up. Now, one thing you could do, if you don't have the Argon Scope, is instead you could either A, use Critical Delay, and while this will decrease your fire rate pretty drastically, it will guarantee crits all the time with a 4% chance at getting a red crit. Or you can jump it up and use Hammer Shot. Now, Hammer Shot will give you a ridiculous amount of crit multiplier at 7.0 times crit multiplier, but I've personally found that the 5.5 getting red crits with Argon Scope is actually better. One last thing, Zephyr has another ability that's pretty badass. She can summon these fucking tornadoes. And these tornadoes are going to travel around and fuck up enemies pretty well. And an interesting thing about them is if you shoot them with a specific type of element, for instance, my Tonkor has corrosive on it, you can now see that it's changed colors. And it will now be doing corrosive damage. In addition to being able to decide whatever elemental effect you have on it, these will also pick up enemies and kind of keep them under control for you and your team, and it's something to think about doing. So how powerful is this? It's pretty damn powerful. I'm going to spawn 20 heavy gunners at level 135. So really quickly I'm going to cast Turbulence, and then we're going to hop down. Since I have the Argon Scope on, I'm going to, well, first shift to the side I enjoy. As you can see, I am now getting red crits for days. And there's a tricky thing with the Tonkor. Because of the explosive radius on it, it still gives you a headshot even if you shoot them at their fucking feet. And as you can see, thanks to Turbulence's defensive property, even while I'm getting shot at, I'm barely getting hit. Like, the enemies have to get a lucky shot in order for me to actually take damage. Another thing, of course, you can always bust out your tornado, shoot, get some corrosive damage, and they're going to get ragdolled, tossed around, and usually start dying pretty quickly. Make sure that you do keep your turbulence up, because Zephyr, while she does have a decent health pool, she has absolute shit armor, and you really need your turbulence in order to keep you alive. But as you can see, this thing will absolutely clean up after you, like you and your teammates, and it's a lot of fun to use the Tonkor to such a high extent and pretty much just decimate waves of enemies. And of course, because it is the Tonkor and how much damage it does, it's great against bosses, great against weaker enemies that come in huge packs, pretty much anything. I highly recommend using the Jetstream Zephyr build, and now that she has the new skin available from the Tenogen, if you're down for dropping $7 on it, don't forget that when you do pay the money, the actual content creators themselves, not just DE, make some. I mean, I think it's only like 10% or something, maybe 30%. It's still something there for the content creators. And I mean, even at $7 a pop, if 100 people buy it, that's still, they're going to be making a little bit of cash on the side. And that's never going to hurt. So anyways, guys, until next time, like, comment, and subscribe, and peace.